We'll get into the actual, individual things that people have been criticizing the Lions for. But overall, your overall feeling of the game yesterday.
Yeah, just kind of blah. I mean, a little bit of a letdown in my mind. Look, anytime, and I'm not really going to count the turnover at the end of the first half where it was a fumble.
No, me neither.
Didn't make a difference.
Right, the clock would have run out anyway.
Yeah, but other than that, you can't turn the ball over twice, and I don't care who you're playing. It's tough to win games like that, especially when you're throwing one that goes back for a touchdown. Overall, though, I feel like, they're a couple plays away from being 2-0, and they're a couple plays away from being 0-2. I mean, that's the NFL. Yes. That's football. And week one, they found a way to make those big plays in big moments and couldn't find a way to do it yesterday. But I did think that a lot of the concerns that we still had heading into the season, John and I talked about, still kind of I think everybody's just hoping the defensive line is going to be better. You didn't really address that position. I thought yesterday was a little bit tough. I mean, the time they were getting pressure, the ball was coming out, time where the coverage was there was no pressure, and it just killed them, And then I think the receiving position, I know Reynolds stepped up and made some big catches, but that was still a position to me just got to start taking some shots downfield. And really the only one we saw was on the flea flicker, which was the design play. Other than that, you saw it late in the game. I mean, they had the ball inside the 30, right? And, I mean, we just kept seeing check down. And it's like, man, I don't know if he just doesn't trust the guys to take a shot, which is kind of weird because Reynolds made a huge play early in that game, taking a huge hit from Quandre Diggs and still holding on to the ball. But that was a concern of mine is the ability to drive the ball downfield and kind of force these teams out of loading up the box against the run and forcing that. You know what I mean? It's going to open up everything else. And they just, through 2 weeks, really haven't seen them take any shots downfield, and that's going to hurt you. I mean, you got to start developing that passing game a little bit more, or else teams are really going to start honing in on you, and you're going to make it even tougher for you offensively.
And I think that they can take those shots. It's not like Jared Goff. I truly believe over the last couple of years that he gets a bit of a bad rap by people saying, well, he can't make the deep pass. I think he can. I just don't know why he doesn't pull the trigger more, or if there's just not enough opportunity. If it's once a game and he just misses the opportunity, I believe that it's there. And if you want to, especially this week, if Montgomery's going to be out, you're going to have to find ways to clear up the box and make it a little bit clearer for Jahmyr Gibbs or whoever else is going to be running the ball behind this offensive line. Yeah,
isn't that kind of why they brought Marvin Jones back too? I mean, Marvin's never been that guy that is like a short route, intermediate route. He's a deep guy, right? I mean, he's a guy that can go make those 50-50 balls. And we haven't seen it. I mean, and people are saying, is Marvin, kind of burned up? What's going on? And it's like, I mean, I don't know. He doesn't get any chances. I mean, I think the reason you brought him back is to be a red zone threat, to be a guy that you can throw the ball up to and see if he can make plays. And for whatever reason, they're just not getting it done. And offensively, look, it was kind of just a tale of two halves, so to say. First half felt like they could do whatever they want. I mean, the only time they got stopped is when they went for it on the 4th down and 5 instead of taking the field goal and, kind of stopped themselves. And but then the running game it changed when Montgomery went out.
Yeah,
it just did. I mean, Gibbs, I love his speed, but sooner or later, he's got to realize you got to put your foot in the ground and go north. I mean, there were way too many times he's just kind of running to the sideline, and even how fast you are, the guys on defense are fast too. You're not just going to beat everybody to the edge.
Maybe he took it too much close to heart that he led the league in broken tackles in week one and kept trying to break tackles wide. We are in complete agreement on this show that the way Dan handled the last possession in regulation is just mind-boggling. He even admitted it at the press conference after the game. He just didn't want to give Seattle the ball back. Well, whether that's not trusting your defense or whatever, you got to, and you mentioned a little bit, you got to have a little more urgency. They just let the clock just drip before they even run it. Like 30 seconds between plays.
Yeah.
If you're not going to take a shot at the end zone, at least try some medium stuff and, get deep into the red zone.
Yeah, and just kind of lost their killer instinct,
yes,
which was weird because
that's what he is.
The whole 58 minutes, you're going for it on 4th down. You're being aggressive. You're trying to do everything you can to maximize every possession, and then you get the last one with 50-yard line. I mean, you're basically already almost in field goal range as long as you pick up 15 yards.
Right.
And they do that in the first couple plays, and then after that, it was just like, okay, what are we doing here? And it kind of went against their identity of how they'd been playing the whole game by being aggressive. So I know Dan mentioned it after the game. That's probably going to be one of those things that he regrets. But, you even look at it and you're saying, like, I still put a little bit of on Goff too, man. Like, I'm watching a couple of these plays, and I'm seeing guys like Marvin Jones getting one-on-one coverage and low safeties, and it's like, just take a shot maybe, and I don't know, maybe after he threw the interception that went back for a touchdown, I think quarterbacks can, kind of tighten up a little bit. You don't want to make a mistake at that point of the game, but just kind of went against their identity of what they were trying to do the whole game with being aggressive and trying to go score points. I just thought I thought that could have been handled a little bit differently.
248-539-9797 is the telephone number for any texts or phone calls for TJ.
Yeah, I think the message was pretty much sent from Dan and Ben that if in that 144, hey, it's 1st and 10, he takes, it's not a shot at the end zone, but you get 12 yards, to Reynolds, and then you don't snap the ball until 105. Like that to me is a message that's being sent from the coach. Like, hey, we don't want to take any risks. We got 3 points. Let's make sure we work it down as far as we can, and we'll kick it and take it to overtime. Because then on the second play, it's another 11-yard pickup. Like it's
and then
it's
you
not necessarily
ran another
dink
30
and duck.
seconds off.
Yeah, I mean it's you're sending the message as a coaching staff, which I'm sure they were in his ear saying, hey, don't snap this until there's 2 left on the play clock.
Yeah, and this isn't a we're going against Josh Allen last year. We can't leave them 12 seconds so they can go score. I mean, I didn't feel like at that point they weren't trying to get a touchdown, only because you still had all 3 timeouts. I mean, 35 seconds at the 27-yard line is still plenty of time with 3 timeouts to utilize the entire field. It was just the play calls and the execution that came after that. You look at the 4-yard, pass incomplete, and then a pass for 3 yards on 3rd and 6.
Right.
It's like that 3rd and 6 call is like, man, like, at least take a shot at the sticks,
yes.
right? At least, even if you're not going to take a shot at the end zone, at least try to pick up the first down. And they just throw that 3-yard pass, and it was like,
with no
like
chance
that
of picking up the first
that
down.
felt like that was your opportunity, no matter all the ups and downs and the swings in that game and how bad they were at times. I mean, you had a chance. And Kansas City, they made those opportunities. They took advantage of those. Yesterday, they didn't.
The 4th down decisions, there were 3 of them. The first 2, the first one they didn't make, so it cost them 3 points. The second one they made, they ended up scoring a touchdown, so they got 7. So I say +1 in the math department as far as points goes. The one though that nobody can understand is
don't let him go
through
it.
Look at it.
I'll give it to you in the break. You
glad.
agree? It's
so glad
simple.
you laughed at it too.
But it's simple.
Yeah, it would also.
But the 4th, the one where they didn't punt, just makes no sense to me.
Where there was kind of the questionable
4th and 2 on our own 45.
Yeah,
that one. And honestly, I mean, I like the math that you're doing, but even the first one, it was like, take the points, take the field goal.
Yeah.
It's you just lost 4 yards on 3rd and 1.
Well, that was the bigger. That to me
like,
was worse. The freaking play call out of a shotgun at 3rd and 1. Just give the ball to Montgomery or take it yourself over the great offensive line.
I didn't like that, and I didn't like the plan to whatever they had with the tight ends motioning and dragging and trying to cut off defensive tackles or defensive ends. I mean, that really, and I don't know why they kept running it. I mean, John, they kept running the same play on like every 3rd and short, and it didn't work at all. And it was like the tight end's got to get better. I mean, I think we're all excited about what Laporta can do in the pass game,
right?
And he did have a couple nice run blocks. David Montgomery's touchdown, he did a great job of sealing the backside.
Brock
the end,
Wright was disappointing blocking.
I mean, there was a lot of issues when it came to the edge. Way too many free runners. Even Montgomery's fumble, which no excuse for that. You got to hold on to the ball, especially at that point of the game. But you can't have a free runner coming right in the backfield, punching the ball pretty much as soon as he gets to the handoff. There was just way too much of that. And I thought a lot of it, honestly, kind of fell on the tight end position where just not being able to seal the front side or backside. But, the first one I think was really the one, Stoney, where I was like, okay, I think you should take the points here.
Yeah.
Even in the moment, hey, it's 7-7 game. This looks like it could be a tight game, right? Let's take the points, get the lead, and see what happens. Obviously, like you said, I mean, they kind of ended up swinging it back later, going for it on fourth and punching in for a touchdown. But just a lot of opportunities they had in that game to go up 2 scores.